Alright, so for this one I thought I'd do a somewhat of a driver's eye, or driver's steering wheel as it might be in this case. So we're in a Ligier JP217, I think. It's a LMP2 at Le Mans. It's on RFactor, RFactor 2. So yeah, I re-downloaded RFactor a few days ago. Had tons of problems with setting up the force feedback and all that sort of stuff. Out of the box, the force feedback was absolutely terrible. Really don't get what people think this is. You know, a force feedback king. Everyone says it about RFactor 2 that it's the best force feedback out there. It is kind of, and it can be after a lot of tweaking. What I found initially was that there was a lot of kind of chatter through the steering wheel, a lot of crazy vibration, particularly over curves like this, to the point where it felt like it was damaging my steering wheel. There was a few occasions where I kind of hurt my fingers a little bit as well, just from hitting curves too much and generally losing control. So what I had to do was I went into the control JSON file, and in there's a line of code for called Jolt, J-O-L-T, and this is basically the jolt effect from crashes, from hitting other cars, and I also believe curbs, or hitting curbs might be in there too. But anyway, the value is between -2 and +2, so I set the value to, I think it was 0.6 now, and it's very manageable. Also, what you've got to do is in the control menu is you set the force feedback up by car. So in the settings menu for every car that you hop into, so I'm in the LMP2, back in the options menu in the garage, not the car setup now, the actual options menu, the settings menu in the garage, where you go into your control kind of control commands and all that sort of stuff. There is a force multiplier, and it's done per car. For this one, I've set around 52%, I think. For other cars, I go around 38 to 42 typically. It gives good feedback. Every car is so different, though. That's the thing with RFactor 2 here. Everything is so different, and to get good force feedback that's usable, I find that you've got to basically, between the JSON file, and the JSON file I just used to dial out a lot of the kind of noise, I guess. But yeah, per car force feedback multiplier needs to be done. The one car I did have a problem with, by the way, that I didn't get fixed, was the Porsche 911 GTE. That thing is just weird in terms of its force feedback. I get this crazy vibration on the brake, and it's not from flat spots either. Like, this is just coming out of the pits. Like earlier this evening, like I was dialing in the feedback for a lot of cars and just coming out of the pits at Daytona in the Porsche, doing like less than 100 kilometers per hour, and lightly apply the brake, and the whole steering wheel just start vibrating left and right, like really hard. Yeah, so I don't know if it's bugged, but I might spend a bit more time with the Porsche maybe tomorrow or something, just trying to dial out what I can. Really using RFactor 2 for endurance type races. I don't really do endurance races, but you can in RFactor like restart from a replay, which I've done successfully. This practice session is an example of it. But yeah, what appeals to me about RFactor is the LMP cars that they've got, along with the GTE and that whole mixed grid thing. I'll be doing it against the AI initially, and I might get into actual online racing in RFactor down the line. But I'm still very much getting to grips with RFactor as a sim. ACC would be my main simulator, I guess. I used to use Assetto Corsa for driving everything else, just as an experience really. But I also downloaded at the weekend Automobilista 2 and reinstalled RFactor, which is what we're in now at the moment. Last time I had RFactor installed, it was very much a throwback to that dodgy steering that I was talking about, and as a result it just kind of got uninstalled and sat in my Steam library gathering dust. But I thought I'd give it a go because, you know, the virtual Le Mans 24 was done there recently enough, and I thought, well, okay, I want to expand out from GT3 and ACC, so this move kind of made sense. And I'm not shy about getting stuck into settings, menus and code and coding a bit here and there. Like as a day job I work in software, not a developer or anything, but I do understand a few lines of code now and again. I can make little tweaks, but to be fair, this shit should be in the UI, or, well, it shouldn't even be in the UI, it should be out of the box working, but hey ho. Yeah, still getting up to speed with RFactor. It does drive well, I have to say. Like, once you have the feedback kind of dialed in, it does drive quite well. This Ligier, from a force feedback perspective, and I don't know if it's got to, you know, to do with the car design or whatever, but I do find that the steering doesn't have a lot of realignment force, almost like it's running too little caster. But that, for some reason, in the setup of this cannot be changed. Again, it could be like real life, I don't know. I do like these LMP cars, but I don't know much about them in terms of setup and what's possible and what's not possible compared to, let's say, GT3 and stuff. Like I say, I do like them, but I do have a lot of, what shall we say, a lot of time to invest to try and get up to speed with how they should be set up and so on. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. The feedback is good in RFactor 2. Like I say, out of the box, certainly, like, I'm using a DD2, right? And for me, the force of the DD2 on the out of the box settings here is just absolutely nuts. I can normally run the DD2, and I think on the Fanalab recommended settings was 70% gain on the DD2. But the problem is the in-game gain multiplier for the cars was at like 1, which is basically like 100%, I think. So, like I say, for a lot of cars I've dialed that back to like 40-ish, and for this, because the caster is giving a light steering feel naturally to this car, I've dialed this one to 52. I'll do one more lap of this, but yeah, I mean, it is a good sim. Feels a little old, I guess. Feels a bit like iRacing in terms of the graphical age, I suppose. The force feedback, like I say, once you get it dialed in, is a lot better than it's actually one of the better feedbacks out there. Like, I think once you get it dialed in, but that's absolutely key. Oops. Totally missed that chicane. I think a combination of braking too late and getting caught under the back wing of that car kind of lost a bit of downforce. That's the Boykolis LMP1. That Boykolis car, by the way, can be picked up for this sim. It's absolutely superb. I've driven it around Silverstone and testing like a few laps in it. It is really, really good, and developed, I believe, in kind of assistance from Tom Dillman, who actually drives that thing in real life. There's a YouTube video floating around where he's being interviewed. He talks about the car. There's a lot of vibration through my steering wheel at the moment. Actually, I'm after the flat spot of the tyre. So the vibration is quite bad. I think the flat spot from being under the back of that car into that chicane, locked the brakes, missed the chicane entirely. Those curbs are very rough. Only on the left side, in fact, so I'm guessing that's maybe something to do with the flat spot. Maybe the flat spot's on the left. I'll have to stop that there before the rig rattles apart with the flat spot. Yeah, it's let's jump back to the garage. Ah, there's the flat spot. Let's just rewind. I felt like the front left was the one over curbs that was giving me the issues after that. Let's just roll it forward and see, was it the front left that did have the flat spot? Did my front left lock up? Front right, okay. Yeah, maybe it's just the curbs then the way they were on the those on side attacked. Very, very aggressive. Yeah, I'm just flicking around the cameras here. Obviously not tracking the car. Yeah, so RFactor 2. Like I say, I'm using it for endurance mixed class against the AI. I'll probably do a 24-hour race at Le Mans. I'll do it over the course of a week or two, maybe more, because I'll have to get some of the ACC in there as well. But yeah, no, it's. I want to say I'm glad I downloaded it, and I mean I am. I did add on the endurance pack onto it as well, which gave me these LMP cars. Like we've got LMP2, like the Ligier, that camera can be moved. Did not know that. Yeah, so back at the garage, there's that Bicolis car that I'm talking about there. That thing is very, very fast. Very, very fast. And lovely to drive as well, actually, really, really nice. Anyway, that setting I was talking about earlier. And actually, there's that bike haulers car there, the guy Tom Dillman. Like I say, check YouTube. There's a video floating around where he's talking to, I think, an esport guy about the development of that car. It's recent enough, and he's basically, saying that he obviously he helped the development of it. It's really, really accurate, and drives fantastically actually. So yeah, it's really, really good car. Anyway, those settings I was talking about. So within the settings area, over here at Calibrate Controls, you'll see here I've got a car specific multiplier set to 65% actually in this car. So that's 65% gain effectively from the game, and my Fanatec setting is 70% gain. So yeah, for a lot of cars I run that like around 40%. Some of the other LMP cars, for example, the Porsche, which I spoke about during the video, even that car at 40% is death to the steering wheel basically, or your fingers or whatever if they get in the way of an accident. So yeah, that's one for RFactor 2, guys. My initial impression after re-downloading it a day ago or so and expanding on the endurance pack. There's a lot of other stuff you can download for this as well, like F1 cars from the 90s and the noughties and stuff like that. But from what I've seen so far, Assetto Corsa seems to be probably the best for that, with some of the mods from the guys at Race Sim Studios. But yeah, for endurance racing and stuff like that, and the official Le Mans and Daytona and whatever else, RFactor 2 at the moment probably is getting my attention in terms of those mixed class endurance events and stuff like that. Like I say, over the next couple of weeks I'll delve into the online and see what's there, but yeah, I suppose for now we'll leave it there.